Hello, I'm Emma,
Hi, I'm Natalie.
and we're about to take a tour of the inn. If you're wondering what this is, it's a place that you can stay, and it's a replica of William Faulkner's house. But it's not really like his house, but it's like, this is where William Faulkner used to live, right here. It's not, the house got torn down, sadly, but this is the dirt of where he lived. So, I guess it's the same thing. So, yeah, you can stay here if you call the museum. Do you know whenever William Faulkner's real house was built?
Oh gosh, he was born in 1897, so it was built before 1897. And if I'm not mistaken, this house was built in the 50s. So, you know, that house had probably been around about 100 years by the time it was torn down. It had a big screen, big front porch on it, and green shutters. We put the green shutters on this house to sort of reflect William Faulkner's house. So, you want me to tell you about this furniture? I think all little girls like a four-poster bed. We have a friend of the museum named May Mackenzie Scales, and she donated this bed, this chair, most of what you see in here. This was hers, and she wanted a place for it, and when she came to the open house and saw it, she was so excited. She said, "Oh, I'm so glad my bed's got a home." Have y'all learned anything about Faulkner Company? Have y'all talked about Faulkner? Well, there was a plant here that made furniture, and that's kind of a whole story in itself. But this is one of the chairs that was made at the Faulkner plant here in town, which has been closed for years. So to have one is kind of special. It's a little, that's a good size for y'all. I don't think I could sit in that and get back up, but that's a good size for y'all. This bedroom, you know, I told you we didn't have to buy any furniture. This bedroom, everything in this room, one of the garden clubs here in town, Historic Northside Garden Club, which this is the historic north side, this side of town. And there's a garden club that functions over here, and they do lots of things for the museum. And they purchased everything in this room and provided it for the manse. So this is one of our bedrooms. They're nice and big, and they're very unique. They have this ceiling, and what do y'all think about this? Would you like to stay in this room?
Yes.
I would too. This is my favorite one. So, but even all of the little knickknacks and the pictures on the wall, everything in here was donated. So we're very proud of this. We do have an innkeeper. His name is Steve Bennett. You don't have to rent it for a night. You can rent it for a few hours or however you want to do it. So it's going to be called the Inn, and it's a short stay, which means you come and rent a room for a night or 2 nights or a week. You can also rent this room and have a bridge club or a book club or a birthday party, which is something y'all might enjoy. William Faulkner actually was born in a house on this. He lived on this corner when he was born. Now his house was sadly torn down. I don't know what shape it was in, but this is still the dirt that he lived over. And then this house was built back in that same spot. And it belonged to the church next door, and that's where their preacher stayed. But, you know, people always find it exciting, particularly if they're readers and writers, to be near the place where somebody important lived, because we don't know exactly what got him excited about writing. But one really interesting thing is he wrote stories about a fictional county called Yoknapatawpha County. Have y'all heard that word?
No.
And the capital, the main city there was Jefferson. And do you know what this street is right here?
Jefferson.
Jefferson. This is Cleveland Street, but this here on the side is Jefferson Street. And so we feel like he got a lot of his ideas from being right here on this site. So do you think y'all would like to come stay in a house like this?
Probably.
Yeah, I know I would. I live here in town, and I think I'm going to probably come and rent it myself one day. So this is a picture of William Faulkner right here, and Miss Jill over at the museum had a typewriter that sort of looks like his typewriter. So he would have had his on a little desk like this. And another thing he did, one of his books is written, he wrote it on the wall He wrote a lot of the lines in a book on the wall over at his house in Oxford. He lived in Oxford too. So we hope to do that. We have plans to put quotes and things over on this wall too. Now the other day we had all these visitors in here for open house. And one lady was talking to her daughter, and she was back in the back where the bedrooms are, and she said, I wonder what room he was born in. And I had to tell her, well, this really isn't that house. It's just the site, the dirt was here. Now the museum, y'all know in the Faulkner Library, that mantle
Yes.
in that Faulkner Library, that was actually in his house here. And it's got an interesting story that Miss Jill or Miss Leanne will have to tell you sometimes. It went all over the United States and ended up right back here. So that's kind of an interesting thing too. Everything in this house was donated. Isn't that amazing? And it just all came together. Sometimes you can have people donate things and it doesn't work, but this one worked. So we've got a great house full of furniture ready to go.